Last night, they put up on my nigga at the light like, nice watch, run it.
The most underrated striker in Europe. In this video I will be analysing a striker I consider to be the most underrated in all of European football. A striker who is outscoring Ronaldo, leading his side to an unexpected title challenge, but also a player who many would have considered a failure during prior stages of his career. His expected goals rate tells a full story, and I'll be looking later on in the video at what clubs should potentially be looking to sign him this summer. But as always, remember to hit the bell when you subscribe to the channel so you get notified when my new transfer series come out. You can also check out my Who Manchester United Should Sign series, along with some of my other videos which will be linked in the description below. So who is this mythical striker that I've been alluding to? Well, some of you may have guessed that it is Ciro Immobile. Immobile can be best described as a traditional striker, or what I'd like to call an advanced forward. A player who doesn't usually drop deep from the forward line to link the attack, instead preferring to sit high up the pitch and make runs in behind the back line, playing as a typical poacher when in the box. Immobile is currently the top scorer not just in Serie A but in all of Europe, with 27 goals in Serie A, 6 more than Cristiano Ronaldo. When we take a further detailed look into his statistics, they begin to look even more impressive. He's overperformed his XG rate by an insane 6.78 goals this season, with his overperformance in his non-penalty XG working out at 5.5 goals, which shows that whilst Immobile has scored a large proportion of penalties, 10 to be exact, this isn't a reason for his XG overperformance, and even when you take penalties out of the equation, he is still recording an incredible XG rate. Just to show how good Immobile's XG is, in the Premier League AUBAMEYANG has overperformed his non-penalty XG by 4.76 goals, and Vardy has an overperformance of 4.57 goals, whilst Ronaldo in Serie A has only overperformed his XG by 1.98 goals, showing that Immobile ranks higher than some of the best finishers in the world for this metric. Immobile's goal scoring ability comes from a combination of his composure in front of goal, shooting technique and movement. His choice of runs in behind the back line is world class and works incredibly well when on the counter attack, where Immobile can time a perfect run into the space awaiting a through ball to give him the goal scoring opportunity. A good example of this can be seen here. Rather than making a run across the centre back looking for a through ball down the channel, Immobile curves his run so that firstly he is onside and secondly a well timed through ball will put him through on goal in a central position. His shooting ability is just as good as his movement. When in a one-on-one against the keeper, Immobile is composed enough to slot the ball into the corners of the net rather than blasting the ball without accuracy. Also, when he receives the ball in the box with defenders around him, he has a presence of mind to manoeuvre the ball into a striking position, from where his technique allows him to drill the ball low and hard past the keeper. This set of skills is similar to that of AUBAMEYANG's, where both players seem to have a knack of being able to put the ball into the net in a crowded penalty area, which comes down to their awareness of where they need to position the ball to get a shot away and their technique to fire the ball past the keeper. Despite dropping deep from the forward line and playing as a deep line forward not being a conventional part of his game, his interplay with the rest of the attack is still very good, as he has excellent vision and ways of pass when interacting with attackers around him, which allows him to strike up an effective partnership if he was to play in a front two. Immobile did turn 30 in February, which may mark him off a lot of clubs' transfer lists this summer, due to clubs wanting to buy in younger strikers who can develop and give them 5 or 6 years. Despite this, as I spoke about in my AUBAMEYANG to Manchester United video, which will be linked in the description below and should appear in the eye above, strikers in the modern game will probably peak around 28 or 29, but instead of declining and being nothing more than a veteran in the squad by 31 or 32, as they may have done 15 or 20 years ago, with modern fitness levels and development in physical conditioning of players, some strikers will probably be able to perform at a top level up to the ages of 32 or 33, as seen with players like AUGERO, Lewandowski or Benzema. Therefore, if a side needs to sign a striker to play the role of an advanced forward or a poacher, then Immobile could be the better option against someone like Luka Jovic, who right now could be considered a somewhat risky acquisition after having a fantastic season at Eintracht Frankfurt and then stuttering at Real Madrid. Immobile would give you 2 or 3 Champions League quality level seasons, whereas Jovic's loss of form at Real may hamper his performances in the short run, which in many ways would make Immobile the safer bet and potentially the more fruitful option over a 2 or 3 season period for a side. In terms of rating Immobile, I would say that at the moment he's performing at a world class level, and I'd rate him an 8.1, which is just inside the world class bracket. Some would say that you can't call a player world class based off one season, But Immobile has been flying under the radar for a while. Last season he did slightly underperform his non-expected goals rate, but the season before he overperformed it by an outstanding 6.79 goals, suggesting that Ciro Immobile is a great finisher and that this season isn't just a sustained good run of form. In terms of potential clubs that could pursue him this summer, it would depend on the fee. Immobile's contract expires in 2023, so Lazio do not really have to sell him, but with the potential effects of the pandemic on Italian clubs, it may be a deal they are willing to accept, and I think they could let him go for around 35 million. That's a reasonable fee for a 30-year-old at this level, considering Aubameyang is being touted around for £60 million plus. Barcelona could take Immobile as a stopgap until a younger striker fits the bill, as currently Immobile is superior in terms of current ability to the rumoured number 1 target Lautaro Martinez. Also, Barca's system does need an advanced forward who can provide the runs in behind the back line for Messi to feed off and be the side's main finisher, taking Luis Suarez's place in the side. Tottenham could also make a move for him as well, as Immobile would suit Mourinho's 4-2-3-1 shape, but that would depend on the unlikely happening that Kane would depart, and even then it would probably suit Tottenham's transfer squad building strategy in the long run to look for a striker around the 21 to 26 year old age mark. Immobile would be a good fit for Inter Milan if Lautaro Martinez departed, and would certainly bring an instant improvement, even if this did mean losing out on Lautaro Martinez's greater potential ability. So overall, Ciro Immobile's overperformance of his expected goals rate in 2 of the past 3 seasons and his outperforming of everyone in Europe this season in regards to this prove that he is hugely underrated and should have been snapped up by a major club a few seasons ago. The reason I think that this didn't happen is down to the perceived failure at both Dortmund and Sevilla earlier on in his career, but I would put that more down to the lack of ability of each club to fully integrate and use Immobile to the full effect in their sides, rather than Immobile himself. So thank you for watching, remember to check out some of the other videos as well, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.
When you do that with footballers, like he said about Leeds, and when you do things like that about a man like Stuart Pearce, I've kept really quiet, but I'll tell you something. He went down in my estimation when he said that. We have not resorted to that, but I'll tell you, you can tell him now, I'll be watching it, we're still fighting for this title, and he's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something. And I'll tell you, honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.